Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm back with another update coming out from the war between Russia and Ukraine, and I've got lots of news I want to share with you in today's video. So, we're going to start off talking about a major meeting today at the Ramstein Air Base in Germany. This is Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, as he got off his presidential airliner when he arrived in Germany today. A major meeting was held to discuss Ukraine's defense capabilities all the way through 2027, and we have a major military aid package that was announced from the U.S. today. Also, the U.S. Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin announced this aid package of $500 million, and I will go over some of the details of what this aid package will entail. And I also have lots of information regarding this meeting today and some of the topics that were discussed and some of the statements coming out from there as well. So I'll share all that information with you guys in just a moment. We also had reports inside of the Kursk region. There was a drone attack targeting a poultry producing plant. Okay, this is a plant that has like chickens there, and I'm not sure exactly why Ukraine would have targeted this, but it was destroyed, completely blowing up and going into flames. Lots of smoke in the Kursk region today. So I'm going to show you guys some video footage coming out from there. Then we also had reports of attacks in Kherson today. And just yesterday, we reported major attacks in the Zaporizhzhia region also. So it looks like the Russians dropped multiple guided aerial bombs onto Kherson today. We had lots of people being injured, many innocent civilians being harmed in these attacks today from Russia. So lots of information I want to cover in today's video. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this and get into the news. We're going to hop right on over to X. No mainstream news article to cover today. So let's start off here with the defense of Ukraine. The U.S. announced a new military aid package for Ukraine valued at $500 million. The package includes AIM-7, RIM-7, and AIM-9M missiles for air defense, air-to-ground munitions, support equipment for F-16s, armored bridging systems, secure communications equipment, small arms and ammunition, spare parts, ancillary equipment, services, training, and transportation. We are grateful to our American partners for their leadership and unwavering support. Together we will prevail in our fight against Russian aggression. Okay, so this is some of the details today coming out with this aid package. So as far as I know, guys, this should be the final aid package. It's interesting because I believe the last one was announced the same way. We were told that was supposed to be the last aid package, but it looks like there is another one that is popping up, and we still got like another week and a half or so before Biden leaves office on January 20th. So maybe it's possible we might see another one, who knows, but what we are hearing is this is the final aid package that has been announced, okay? $500 million for Ukraine, okay? So moving on to another update now from Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. During the Ramstein meeting, I met with U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin to discuss support for Ukraine. Our conversation focused on the situation on the battlefield, the role of drones at this stage of the war, and Ukraine's defense needs for various types of UAVs. We also discussed strengthening Ukraine's air defense and the prospects of providing additional air defense systems, particularly through cooperation with other countries. Ukraine is grateful to the United States, the American people, the entire American people, and the bipartisan and bicameral support that helps preserve our independence and protect lives in the fight against Russia's unprovoked and criminal aggression. Okay, so major statement coming out from Volodymyr Zelensky. Here's a picture while they were meeting. Here's the U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin as he was speaking with Volodymyr Zelensky. Here we even have Rustem Umerov, the defense minister of Ukraine, in this room also. So there's a photo coming out from that meeting today. Here's some more information from Anton Gerashenko. The Ramstein group is meeting today at a military air base in Germany. This is the last meeting in this format with the current U.S. administration of Joe Biden. The fate of the Ramstein group under Trump is unclear. President Zelensky, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, military representatives from more than 50 countries are in attendance. One of the main topics of the agenda is strengthening Ukraine's defense capabilities over the next 2 years to maintain credible deterrence. Roadmaps detailing Ukraine's needs and goals in Air Force, armor, artillery, demining, drones, air and missile defense, information technology, and maritime security will be approved. Zelensky gave a statement at the meeting about the cooperation of Ukraine with allies. At the current state of affairs on the battlefield, he once more emphasized that stopping the cash flow for Putin's war effort through sanctions is crucial to stop the killing. Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin announced the last package of military assistance for Ukraine from the Biden administration at the meeting, valued at USD 500 million. It will include air defense missiles, air to surface missiles, ammunition and equipment for F-16s. Okay, so we've got a clip here of Volodymyr Zelensky as he was speaking at this conference, basically saying that he needs his partners to help out stopping Vladimir Putin's cash flow, so that way his partners inside Russia can tell him, hey, we can't continue this war anymore if we run out of money. Okay, so go ahead and take a look at what he has to say.
Asking all our partners, especially the US and the EU, to turn up the heat on Russia's energy sector. Sanctions are needed against every element of Russian energy, and the Russian tanker fleet must be stopped. Russia's war budget for 2025 is 25% bigger than last year's. If we want to stop the killing, we have got to cut off Putin's cash flow. Putin will start thinking about peace only when his inner circle tells him he is out of money. Asking all our...
Okay, so there you go, directly from the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, calling on partners to put pressure on Vladimir Putin's cash flow. And we know that probably next week, I wouldn't be surprised we hear a major sanctions package coming from the United States directly going after Vladimir Putin's shadow fleet of vessels that they use to circumvent sanctions and still transport oil around the world. That's probably coming next week, and I feel like we're going to be seeing lots of sanctions coming out just before Joe Biden gets out of office. And we'll see how much effect this puts on Vladimir Putin and Russia in terms of stopping this war, okay? So moving on to another update from Max 24 at Ramstein. Partners agree on plans to support Ukraine through 2027. Ukraine's allies fulfilling their commitments of July 12, 2024 have agreed on 8 roadmaps to develop Ukraine's defense capabilities through 2027. The partner countries plan to work closely with Ukraine to assist not only in wartime, but also after it. That includes donations, procurement, investments, and efforts to expand the industrial base, including by attracting domestic production and supporting capabilities for Ukraine's defense industry. So lots more information coming out from this meeting. Here's a picture of the U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin as he was attending. All right, also from Max 24 again, for almost 3 years of full-scale war, we have shown that no one is too small to make an impact on history, Zelensky said during a speech at Ramstein. Drone production in Ukraine is more cost-effective than anywhere else. This year, we want to set a record for drone production. We urge you to join the expansion of the drone production process. We urge you to invest in this niche and in talented people. I'm doing everything I can to end this war with dignity for Ukraine and for Europe. We ask partner countries for immediate deliveries of air defense systems. We need to stop Russian terror, and you can do it. Okay, so air defense systems, we know that Ukraine still needs more of these. I think they were saying they needed something like 12 Patriot air defense systems. I want to say they have at least 6, so there's still quite a few that they're missing right now. But air defense in general could be very good for Ukraine. They're still getting hammered every single day. Like I told you guys earlier, we have a report of Kherson today that was heavily hit by guided aerial bombs, so we'll go over that in just a minute. But yeah, these were some of the other statements coming out today from Zelensky. Also from Liskovka, deployment of a foreign contingent in Ukraine is one of the best tools to force Russia to peace, Zelensky said. Let's be more practical to make this possible, and we have heard signals from the UK in support of this. We have to be bold, and we have to offer really strong tools, the president said at the Ramstein meeting. Okay, so also he's stating that he still is very open to a foreign contingent of European troops heading over to Ukraine, okay? We've heard that the UK and also France have expressed interest in doing so, but at one point we did hear from David Lammy, the foreign secretary, that UK troops would not be deployed to Ukraine, so we'll see what happens. I would think this would come after there's some sort of negotiated settlement here when it comes to this war, and then maybe after we might see foreign troops heading over to Ukraine. These would be like NATO troops, but who knows? It may come sooner. We'll have to see what happens here, okay? So that was an update today from him. from Zelensky. Also from Max24 again, Poland is preparing a new package of military aid to Ukraine. Polish defense minister says at Ramstein meeting. Coalition roadmap has also been created to support Ukraine's armored potential. Countries are preparing for further donations of equipment. Okay, so we're going to be seeing lots of support going to Ukraine even after Donald Trump comes into office. Most likely, the EU will continue to transport, weapons and equipment over to Ukraine. I wouldn't be surprised if that continues. It looks like it's going to. And Poland preparing a major military aid package for Ukraine in the near future, also. So stay tuned for that. All right, now we're going to move on to this report coming out from the Kursk region of this poultry producing factory that was supposedly struck by drones from Ukraine. Okay, so take a look at this. No reports in Russia. The Cherkizovo, if I'm pronouncing that right, Chicken Kingdom, one of Russia's leading poultry producers, is reportedly on fire. Russians report that debris from Ukrainian drones shot down by Russian air defenses directly over the facility caused a blaze. The naughty debris again. Okay, so the Russian officials apparently in this area were claiming that drone debris caused this fire, that, a drone was shot down just as usual. That usually means that a drone directly impacted the facility, but we don't have any video footage of that evidence. But yeah, there was a major fire over here, and I was curious and wondering why a chicken poultry producing plant would be a target of an attack, or was this an accident? I don't really know. But somebody did post down here. I saw some information from Chris Lowen. It says chicken manure is high in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. I'm guessing they use it to make munitions. I don't know if that's the case. I'm not a scientist. I don't know all these details when it comes to chickens or manure or anything like that. But if you guys have any information on that, go ahead and share that down below. But yes, we did have a major attack here, and I want to show you guys this video. It's 30 seconds long. Take a look at this.
Там горят куры, тут пахнет. Вот, там вот, это не передать. Ну, дельца, ну, короче. Давай выйдем.
All right, so quite a lot of smoke, and if you notice, very thick black smoke coming from this facility. And if this is just a chicken producing plant, it definitely produced a lot of fire and smoke. So very interesting. I do have another post talking about this also with some photos here. From War Translated Dmitry, something is burning heavily on the border of the Staroskulski, if I'm saying that right. That one's a tough one to say. District and the Kursk region. Meanwhile, Russian public pages reported a drone attack by the armed forces of Ukraine and claimed that their air defense shot down all targets. The debris fell in the territory of the Enterprise and a fire started. So take a look at this, guys. In the Kursk region, look at all that smoke over there in the distance. Here's another photo also, okay? So a massive blaze over here. And again, I don't know 100% if this was the target. I would assume that it was, just because the authorities of the Russian side are stating that it was drone debris causing this fire. That typically means it was directly struck. That's usually how, it's been interpreted based on all the news that I've ever reported here. So let me know if you guys have any details of why this would have been attacked down below, okay? Thank you. Moving on to another update from Anton Gerashenko. Russia's dropped 2 guided aerial bombs on Kherson, local authorities report. 6 people were injured. A children's daycare center was destroyed. Rescue works are ongoing. Not a day goes by without Russian terror in Ukraine. Okay, so yet again, another horrendous attack onto Ukraine, this time in the city of Kherson. Now, Kherson has been getting hammered a lot recently. As we know, the Russians are trying to storm across the Dnieper River and get into Kherson using boats. But so far, the Ukrainians, as far as I know, have been able to repel most of these attacks. But this was another barbaric attack from the Russians today that was reported. So far, 6 people injured. That number may climb here in the coming hours and days. So here's a report also yesterday from today, but from yesterday's attack, okay, in Zaporizhia. All right, this is from Nexta. More than 100 injured after Russian shelling of civilians in Zaporizhia. The number of people injured in a Russian strike on Zaporizhia has risen to 113. And I might note yesterday this number was at 30, okay? So within 24 hours, it jumped up all the way to 113 people. So this definitely was a massive strike inside of Zaporizhia. The State Emergency Service of Ukraine said 13 people were killed. The Russian armed forces attacked Zaporozhye the previous day. Sorry, guys, I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. My apologies. The regional administration said that the strike was carried out with aerial bombs. Okay, so very horrible attack yesterday. Here's some of the new photos coming out showing major damage here to this, what looks like an apartment building. And then we had these cars that were destroyed. There was a trolley system that was damaged here. So these bombs landed right in the middle of the town. Here's also some emergency crews that were helping out somebody injured on the ground. Okay, so very sad. And there is a video here, but unfortunately I can't show the video. The video is just a little too gruesome to show here on YouTube, but we did have a couple of photos we can show you of an update there. Also from Ozent Uri Kokoski, Russian sources claim that there are missiles flying over Crimea. The look and sound storm shadowy. Okay, so we had reports also that just coming out today, actually, that maybe Crimea could have been attacked today by Storm Shadow missiles or maybe some sort of missiles or rocket drones. We know Ukraine does have like the Peklo and Palinitsia rocket drones, so I'm not sure what was being used, but these were videos coming out today, what appears to show some sort of missiles heading over towards Crimea. So if we get more information, I'll let you guys know. But also here from Max 24, vehicle traffic on the Crimean Bridge is temporarily closed. Missiles over Crimea. Here's another one also, okay? So they're apparently even closing down the Crimea Bridge. I'm not sure if maybe the Crimea Bridge is going to be attacked today, but reports of some sort of missiles or rocket drones coming from Ukraine into Crimea, okay? So if we get information, I'll let you guys know in a later video what happened here, but this was just being reported, as you can see here, January 9th, 2025, right around close to 5 a.m. this morning. It's about 4 or 5 hours ago at the time that I record this. Also, we have this report from the Ukrainian Review. A settlement of the war in Ukraine under Trump could be achieved by the end of April. This was according to British Foreign Minister David Lammy. Okay, so I pulled this up for you guys. This was a big statement coming out from David Lammy today, the Foreign Minister of Britain. And we've been hearing a lot recently that maybe Donald Trump is not going to be able to end this war as quickly as he would like. We've heard that he would end it within 24 hours after getting into office, but it's looking highly likely that won't be the case. So, we're hearing now that from David Lammy, that it could be until April. So we'll see what happens here, but it's looking more likely that it's going to be months before this war ends. All right, so moving on to another update now from ViceGrad24. Keith Kellogg, Trump's special representative for Ukraine, says the goal is for the war to end in the first 100 days of Trump's presidency. People need to understand he's not giving anything to Putin or to the Russians. He's working to save Ukraine's sovereignty and ensure fairness. Okay, so this was a statement coming out from Keith Kellogg just yesterday. I believe he was on a mainstream news being hosted on there. I think it was like ABC or something like that during an interview. And this was something that he stated as well. This is a goal for the Trump presidency to end this war within 100 days. So again, it's looking likely that it's going to take months. Who knows, maybe longer. We do know it's going to be at least a few months before this war ends, but that is something that Donald Trump always said, that within 24 hours he would end this war, but it's looking highly unlikely at this time. All right, also from next, Ukraine's defeat will cost the U.S. more than its aid to Ukraine. The American Enterprise Institute has calculated that Russia's victory in the war against Ukraine will force the United States to increase military spending by $800 billion until 2029. This is due to the need to protect NATO countries, writes Bloomberg. According to the report, the Pentagon's 5-year budget will have to increase from $4.4 trillion to $5.2 trillion, which means an additional $165 billion annually. Experts note that assistance to Ukraine is economically more favorable for the USA than the possible costs of curbing Russian aggression in the future. So this is something big, right? If they don't want to worry about all these extra costs in the future, they probably would want to up their spending on Ukraine right now and defend them as much as possible and make sure Ukraine does not lose this fight, right? So maybe we're going to see an increase in spending for Ukraine. Who knows what's going to happen, but that's definitely the wild card here. We'll have to see what happens when Donald Trump gets into office. He may cut off support for Ukraine or maybe continue it. But there's definitely a lot of factors in play right now, and we'll see what happens here moving forward. Also from NOAA Reports, head of the presidential office, Andriy Yermak, hints towards good news for Ukraine. Sanctions bulletin, there will be good news, he writes. So this was a statement from Andriy Yermak, the head of the presidential office for Ukraine, on Telegram. Okay, and he stated that there's going to be some good news, most likely in terms of sanctions. And we do know that sanctions are coming here very soon on Russia's shadow fleet. And I do have some information that the Biden administration will be releasing some sanctions here on Russia very soon, probably next week. Also from Max 24, North Korea has already lost 4,000 soldiers wounded and killed in the war against Ukraine, according to Zelensky. All right, now I don't know if this was stated today at the Ramstein meeting, but this was a statement coming from Volodymyr Zelensky in the past 24 hours. And this was something that he stated, okay, that the North Koreans have lost allegedly 4,000 wounded and killed in this war against Ukraine, okay? So that's absolutely massive losses if that happens to be true. And we do know that somewhere around 11 to 12,000 North Korean soldiers have been deployed to Russia. So if that happens to be the case, okay, that's almost half of the North Korean soldiers that have been sent to fight against the Ukrainians, all right? So also for more translated Dmitry, in the self-proclaimed Transnistria, gas reserves for civilians needs are expected to last only 24 days. Meanwhile, the leader of the region describes Russian gas as humanitarian aid. Despite widespread heating outages, the authorities of Transnistria have declined Chisinau's offer to help procure gas from the EU and continue to wait for supplies to resume from Russia. Okay, so we reported this last week that, Moldova tried to reach out to Transnistria and say, hey, we can help you get some gas supplies in the meantime from some sources from the EU. Well, the authorities in Transnistria completely declined that request and said, we'll just suffer, we'll just deal with what's going on over here. We'll wait for Russia to send over gas supplies here very soon. And we don't know if that's going to be the case, but apparently they're waiting for that. And right now the people in Transnistria, this breakaway region of Moldova that is Russian controlled, they don't have any heating. They barely have any electricity and water. So it's a very bad situation for them. So this was a new report and update coming out from Transnistria today, excuse me. So moving on to another update now from NOAA Reports. Outgoing Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin told Bloomberg that while Russia may seem to have the upper hand in Ukraine, the Kremlin faces mounting challenges that complicate consolidating its gains. There's a perception Russia has all the trump cards. It has advantages, but not total dominance, Austin said, warning any Russian success will come at a high cost. Okay, so this is actually something that the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has stated many times. He said that Russia's enduring massive losses, that all their gains are at a high cost. They're losing lots of soldiers. But this was just a new statement coming out from him, most likely at the Ramstein meeting today. Also from Max 24, President Joe Biden is expected to unveil new sanctions targeting Russia's economy this week as part of measures to bolster Kiev's war effort against Moscow before Donald Trump takes office, according to Reuters. Okay, so major sanctions packages coming very soon on Russia. And most likely one of the big ones will be on Russia's shadow fleet of tankers that they use to transport oil and circumvent sanctions from the West. The big one there will be whether this will actually put a major halt to Russia's transport of gas. They would have to target quite a few of these oil tankers because as far as I know, they're using hundreds of oil tankers that are part of this shadow fleet. So we'll see how many they're going to be able to target and if it will put a major dent into Russia's pocket here in terms of funding this war, okay? Also from Max 24, the fire at the oil depot in Engels is still not extinguished. Local residents report that the fire is only getting worse. 2 firefighters have already died, 1 in the hospital. So we actually talked about this yesterday, the Combinat Crystal oil depot in Engels, okay, in Saratov region of Russia, close to the Engels 2 air base. This oil depot is used primarily to fuel the strategic bomber fleet that is located at the Engels 2 air base. Now this place has been completely destroyed. It blew up multiple times yesterday. We know multiple tanks have already been destroyed over here, and it looks like this thing is still burning today. Go ahead and take a look at this.
Вот, пошел и петь.
All right, so we can clearly see from this video footage, still burning, okay, 24 hours later And it started out with one strike. There was one oil tank that was hit at 5:30 in the morning. Soon after that, within like 12 hours later, we had a second one starting to explode. And this thing just continued to spread and get much worse. There was lots of videos coming out yesterday showing massive flames over here, much worse than we're seeing here. Looks like they've got a little bit of it under control, but it's still on fire at this time. So pretty insane. It's going to be major damage, and also going to make it difficult for Russia to continue fueling their strategic bombers at the Angles 2 air base, okay? Also from Max 24, Ukrainian air defense shot down 46 out of 70 Shahed UAVs, 24 UAVs suppressed by EW, which is electronic warfare. Okay, this was a daily update of the amount of drones going into Ukraine. So it looks like 70 in total, and about half of them or more being taken down, either shot down or suppressed by electronic warfare from the Ukrainians. So didn't have any reports of any damage from these drones today inside of Ukraine, but it looks like a pretty massive drone attack from the Russians last night. Finally, one last post from the Kyiv Independent. These are the indicative estimates of Russia's combat losses as of January 9th, according to the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Okay, so our final update of Russia's losses as of January 9th, according to the Ukrainian intelligence, says here 1,430 troops, 16 AFVs, 80 vehicles and fuel tanks, 17 tanks, 36 artillery systems, 86 UAVs, and 5 special equipment. Okay, so these are the daily updates that we share with you guys, letting you know from the Ukrainian side what they report of losses for the Russian troops as they continue to fight this war. So lots of updates today, guys, and big news coming out for the Ramstein meeting. That major 500 million, aid package or military aid package for the Ukrainians announced today from U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. So, yeah, lots of news, guys. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you did get something out of all this news today. If you did, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you with that. Hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.